Hey everybody, welcome to week number 4 of the Bernat Blanket Stitch along with our friends over at Joann.com. I'm your host Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. We're going to continue into week number 4 and continue to grow our Afghan outward on both sides. Once again, we're going to do some more stitch work and really make those colors pop. By this point in the stitch along, you were going to really start to see your Afghan materialize right before your very eyes, and you're probably getting excited at this point. So without further ado, let's head back on into the studio and let's get started now. So welcome back to week number 4. We're going to build out our Afghan even further out. So right at this point, we are in this section here and we're going to then move out to here. We're going to do that on both sides. There is a white single crochet on the outside if you can't really see it that well here. So what we're going to do is that everything that you already know we're going to repeat again, but we're going to do it in the opposite direction so that this white striping line really takes the cake really for the visual effect. So we're just essentially doing the opposite to what we've done here in the opposite direction, meaning the color. So we're going to go back to gray and then back to burgundy plum, and then we're going to go back to aubergine for a couple rows and then back to vintage white. So it's really quite an easy thing to do. We're going to go back to our diagram now. It's on the last page, page number 3. Let's take a look. So on page number 3, you're going to see the diagram once again. So the grayed out one, the very beginning single crochet, is something you've already done. So now we're going to be building on from row number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. What we really need to be paying attention to as we go is that we just have to make sure that we're capturing what we need to do as far as like where we're starting. So you're going to see that the first row starts on this side and continues all the way across. The next row also starts on this side, and then we're going to get back and then go back in the other direction. How can you tell that? By where the actual chain is to start. So the chains, if they're starting on the same side like you see in 9 and 10, you know that you have to return back in order to start there. So the next row, you see that it's a double crochet here, so therefore you obviously had to come back in that direction in order to get it. So we're going to be paying attention to that as we go, and we're going to start row number 9, and let's take a look at the sample here and show you what you're going to be doing. So last time I left you, we did the white outline right here, and now we're going to continue on with the gray. So the gray here, and then this color, this, and this. So you can see that it's really kind of working out to be opposite to what is already there. So if you look below it, you can see the gray was here, and then the burgundy, see? And then the aubergine was there, and then the vintage white is the only one that is not on the other side. But everything that you already know is going to be done in this particular section in week number 4. And without further ado, you're gonna have to do this with both sides. So the other side is not done yet, so I'm going to start there and pick it up and show you what to do from this point forward. So let's get our yarn out, let's get our gray, and let's begin. So first thing you're going to need to do is turn your project so right side is up. You can tell by the middle of your motif so what is the right side, and I'm just taking a look to verify here on the other side just to make sure that it is right. And you usually can tell by just the way that the stitching looks when you look at one side versus the other. So this is the right side up, and so when I look at it from this perspective, I can see that this is also the right side. So that's something that you get used to in time. So we're going to begin with the right side up, and we're going to be starting on this section right here, and we're going to start with our gray. Let's begin. So let's begin on the very edge one here. Let's create a slip knot to start. We'll put that on the hook. So when we look at it from this point of view, we had the actual 2 single crochets that were together that made into one stitch. So you got to make sure that you are compensating for that here. So we're just going to go into the top of the first one, and we're going to attach with the slip stitch and then chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So now what we need to do, the next 2 are together. So right into the next 2 single crochets going in. Okay, just put that straggler over top so that it can hide it underneath. So pull through 2 and hold it, and then do the next one like that as well. Okay, so you got 3 loops, pull through all 3. So that was the 2 together, double crochet. So this chain 3 makes it look like there's 3. So now you're just gonna work in every stitch going all the way to the top of the peak. And in the top of the peaks, like you did before, there's going to be 5 double crochets. So it's in the middle one of the grouping of 3 single crochets. That's where you're going to put the 5. Let me get you up there now, and I'll see you there in just a moment. So I'm just coming near to the top. I'm looking for the middle one of 3. You don't hear me counting at all because I'm more visual than anything of just looking where it is. So this is the first, second, and third of the group. So the next one is just one double by itself. And now the next one is the very top. It's the middle one of the group of 3. So put in 5 double crochets there. So let's count that out. So I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that allows it to turn back down. So starting in the next stitch, you're just gonna double crochet yourself, and what I want you to do is get close to the bottom section here. I'll meet you there, show you we have to put 5 together double crochets again. I'll give you the visual cue that you need in order to do that right. So just keep double crocheting until you get to that spot, and I'll see you there in a moment. So I have to put a 5 together double crochet. So right where you see them grouped together, this is the middle one. This is where the 3 together double crochet or single crochet are. This is the middle. So if I have to put 5 double crochet together, you have to include the 2 before it and then the 2 after it. Okay, so if this is the middle, the 2 that are right in front of it. So if you can look at that. So to put 5 together, we've done this before, just start collecting. So this is the middle one now of the grouping. And then you do 2 after that one, and you should have 6 loops left on your hook. Okay, you got 6. Pull through all 6. So now you just jump into the next one and just start double crocheting till they get to the top, and in the tops again will be 5 double crochets, and then when you hit the next bottom one, it's exactly what I just showed you, and then you're gonna put 5 together. So please do this all the way across, and we'll continue along then after that. So as you come to the end of the row, the last 3 stitches will be to come together 3 double crochet together. So 1, 2, and 3. Don't forget this one looks like 2 because it is, but on the top it came together, so don't forget to do that. So don't forget to don't look at it from a perspective that it's more than what it is. So the final 3 stitches are 3 together double crochet, and then once you get that done, you're going to fasten this off, and then you're just going to go back to the start of this row again and start and go this way again one more time as we continue then into the burgundy plum. So fasten this off now, and then I'll see you at the next starting point in the next row. So let's begin the next row. It's row number 10. It's exactly what you already did down here in week number 3. So we're gonna start exactly the same way and continue up, and then we're gonna come up and down just out of the way across, and then come back in the other direction and stop there. So what we're going to do is just fasten on, use an extra long strand of yarn here so that you can use a darning needle to hide it in, because you have a chain work. It's harder to do that, to hide that. So you're going to come into the top of the grouping of 3 that you see. That is the very starting one, and you're going to fix with the slip stitch and then chain 3. So like you did before, so we're just gonna put that straggler behind and secure it with the darning needle later. You're going to skip the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and in the 4th one you want to apply 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 1. So skip the next 3 and double crochet 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, skip the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. So how many groups of 3 are you gonna have? Well, if you remember from week number 3, it's going to be 4 on this edge. So chain 1. So 1, 2, 3. So there'll be 4 on the edge here before you get to the very top. Again, if you're off with your stitch counts, this is an opportunity to fix it so that you can get it to work right for you. So what you want to do is you want to chain 1 first, and then look for the middle one of the grouping of 5. And that'll be the top of that for you, and you're going to then just continue to double crochet 3 times, and technically speaking, so that middle one should be about 3 stitches away from the other one that you have. So chain 2, and coming into the same one again, another grouping of 3 double crochet. So let's continue to go down the other side. Chain 1, and you're going to skip 3. So just making sure that you do that. So 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th, 3 double crochet again. So in these smaller ups and downs, in the middle section here, there's only 2 groups of 3. So chain 1, skip another 3, so 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th, and it's 3 double crochet there too. So because you're now gonna hit the bottom peak right here, you're gonna skip 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to the 6th, and then double crochet into the next one for 3. Notice that I did not chain 1 after I did that, after I skipped all those, and that's the very bottom section right there. So then you're gonna continue up, skip another 3 double crochets in, and then chain 1, and then up at the top again 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and go up and down in that manner, going all the way. So I'll see you at the end of this row, and then we'll pick up there. We'll return back in the other direction and verify that you are on the right track. So I'll see you in just a moment. So as you make your way to the other side, you're going to have 4 groups of 3 double crochets working its way down the other side. So we have 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skipping another 3, and then you get your last grouping of 3 here. But we're not quite done yet. We need to reach over to the very beginning that you had over here. Okay, so reach right over and just don't chain 1, and just reach over into the top of these 3 together double crochets here, and just double crochet. So now you're going to turn your work, and you're going to begin again, and let's just turn, and you're going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3, reaching in between the gapping spaces like you did before in week 3. You're just going to work your way up again. So any corrections that you needed to do in the last row, if you had to do any at all, is pretty much hidden at this point, and you just carry on as normal. So chain 1 going into the next one. So at the very top, so you're going to put in your 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then I will just pick you back up at the base. So right where it just goes back down in between, I'll pick you up there, and I'll just reiterate what you need to do. So at the top one here, just a 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. I'll see you at the bottom of the next valley. So I'm at the very top peak here. I'm making my way down. So the goal is that to skip over the middle section. So we're gonna come down into here, here, and then skip this. This is the very middle, and then go immediately here. So these 2 are gonna be the ones to keep it attaching so that it keeps it in the right formation. Don't forget to be chaining 1 after your groups of 3 double crochet, except for the very bottom one in the valley. You don't want to do that there. You want to keep it nice and tight. So chain 1. So this is the last one going down on this hill. So 3 double crochets. Do not chain 1 after this one, because you were going to link it over. So you're going to skip over the middle one here, go right over here, and 3 double crochets there. So it keeps it nice and tight in the valley. So then you're gonna make your way to the top, and now you start chaining 1 again. And then make your way back to the top, and then at the tops again, if we remember, it's 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, make your way back down, and continue in the up and down motion going all the way across. I'll see you at the end of this row. Now I'm coming all the way to the other side, and we're going to fasten off this yarn. Just let me show you how to finish off. If you've already done week number 3, then this is the same finishing that you did before. So you're coming into all the spots in between all the way down. There should be 4 groups of 3 double crochet going down that are separated with chain 1s. So once you get there, there's no more groups of 3 to go in between. So you just have this left. So do not chain 1 first at the very end, and just go into the top of the first one there, the first turning chain, and then that's it. So we're gonna get rid of that color now, and then we're gonna be back, and then we'll start another one. So get rid of these strands, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So let's turn our project. Everything is secured in, and I want to start again. So we're gonna turn. Now we're gonna bring back the aubergine that you see here. So if you look at it, you can see how it's looking like it's a mirror of it. And so we're going to do aubergine again, and we're going to start off in the very top section right here. So it's just gonna be double crochets. So go right into the very first one, create a slip knot, and you already kind of know how to do this already if you've been following along at this point. So attach it and chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. So the first one that has 3 double crochets, the first 2 are going to be 2 together double crochet. And so by pulling through all 3, you've just made 3 together double crochet because this chain 3 is going to count as one of them. Okay, so there's officially 2 actually done, but the chaining 3 makes it look like 3. So now what you're going to do is just 1 double crochet in each one of the stitches, including the chain 1 spaces all the way to the top. So do you remember what to do at the top? It's 5 double crochets at the top. So it's basically exactly the way that you did the gray here. That's how we're kind of doing it, but on the very base here what we need to do is that we need to change it slightly because you have a slightly different stitch count. So we're gonna just change that there, and then I'll meet you there in just a moment. So just 1 double crochet in each of the stitches and chain 1 spaces. There'll be 5 double crochets at the top peak, and then I'll meet you here and I'll just verify that you're knowing what to do your 3 together double crochets in order to pull these together. So I've gone up over the top of the peak and now I'm coming down, and now I want to pay attention to the 2 ones that are in the middle. Okay, so these 2 that I want to pay attention to. So I'm just gonna still continue to double crochet in each stitch going down, and I'm going to double crochet right into the final chain 1 space before I hit that section. So there it is right there. So the 2 middle ones here, we're going to put them together with the 3 double crochet together. You're going to start off in the first one, so right in the first stitch of this one. So start, do the space for the number 2, and then do the last one here just like that. So those 3 just became 1. So pull through all 4 loops. And then you just start in the next gapping space, chain 1 space, and make your way back to the top and put 5 double crochets in the top. So when you get back down to the next time you hit the valley, you just have to pay attention to where you are and just do your 3 together double crochets. That'll pull that in. So please do the remaining of the row just like this. So as you come to the end of the line, the last 3 stitches, which is the chain and the 2 of these of the grouping of 3, will become togethers. So just once you get to your last 3, just put those 3 together. So this is the last one by itself, and so the middle one, the next one, and the chain become together with 3 double crocheted together. So we're gonna turn our work and do another row of aubergine. So just pull through, and then just we're gonna continue, so just lock it, and we're going to start and do the next row. So let's begin row number 13. So we have 1 more row after this, so we're gonna just chain 2. So when I locked it before, that was 1, considered 1 chain. This is 2 and 3. Okay, so normally I would have just stopped and then just chain 3, but I had you to lock it just for tutorial reasons. So our very first stitch is right here. So let's see how these grouping are all working together. So we're just going to then group 2 together now. So we're just gonna grab the next one and the one after that and make 2 together. And so with this chain that you did plus those 2 gives you again 3 together double crochets. You're gonna work your way up then to the top of the peak, and in the top of the peak, the middle one of the group of 5 will have 5 more double crochets put into it, and then I'll meet you at the base where it comes together down over here, and I'll show you how to put 5 together down there as well, and just what you need to look for if you haven't already clued in on that. So I'll see you there in just a moment. So as you come and you start doing the valleys, what you have to watch for is that this one here is the middle. So just kind of look at it here. That one is the middle. So you need to grab the 2 ones in before it and 2 after it for 5 together double crochet. So if this is the middle, these are the first 2 before it, and then the next 2 after it. So let's begin. So we're gonna collect and we're gonna do 5 together double crochets. So the middle one is the next one. Nice and easy. If you can identify stitches, it just makes it quicker for you. So then there's 5 on the, or sorry, there's 6 loops on there. Pull through all 6 and then just start up the other side into the next stitch going up, and then put 5 at the top, and the grouping of 5 you'll put it in the middle one. So when you get to the next valley, just make sure that you can identify your stitches here at the bottom and put your 5 together double crochet. Please do this all the way across for this row. So I'm coming up to the end of this, and we are going to then just put the last 3 stitches together. We had done this before, way back before this week at Clues for sure. But it's exactly how you're finishing the gray that you saw in the very beginning of this one that we started with today's clue, with week number 4. So we're just looking for the final 4 stitches. I can feel in my palm that I'm not quite there yet, but I'm pretty close. So I can see that these 3 belong together. and that's just a fluke. I happen to stop in the right section. So these 3 belong together, so that's 1 stitch, 2 and 3. So put the final 3 stitches together with 3 double crochet together. I want you to fasten off this yarn at this time, and you are going to then start, you're going to turn your work, and then we're going to start the white. We're going to do one more layer of white, and then this is it for today's clues, and you're going to do this exactly on both sides of your work so that it's equal. So just get rid of this and just turn it, and I'll see you, and we'll begin the last row together. So let's bring back your white for the final row on this side, and then if this is the second time that you've done it, then you're good to go. But if you haven't done this to the other side of your work, you'll have to do it. And then we'll meet back then on week number 5. And we're over the halfway point, so it's actually pretty good. So these 3 are together as 1 stitch. So that's the one you're gonna go into. And you're just gonna chain or slip stitch to join, chain 1, and put this stitch, the same one, and the next stitch together as 2 together single crochet. So now you're going to work your way up. Every stitch is going to get a single crochet, and then what you're going to do then from this point is that at the very top you'll put 3 single crochets into the same one. Okay, and then when you get to the base, and we've already covered this before in the other weeks, in the base here you'll put the middle 3 together. So this is the middle one, so you'll get the first one and the second one and put those 3 together. So you're just gonna go up and down. I'll meet you there anyway. We'll make sure that you know that. Make sure the middle one of the grouping of 5 is the one that gets 3 single crochets in it. I'll see you at this section right here. So I'm making my way. I've already done the top peak. 3 single crochets went into the top middle one. So I'm looking for the base. So here's the middle. See how they're kind of grouping together? So the middle, the one before, and the one after. So I gotta do one more before I can do that. So we're gonna do 3 single crochet together. So in, pull through, into the next one, pull through. That's the middle one, and the one after it, pull through, and you got 4 loops. Pull through all 4. And that was the 3 together for single crochet. You're gonna start in the next one, working your way back to the top. Again, in the top peaks, you're gonna put 3 double crochets or 3 single crochets into the top of the grouping of 5 double crochets that exists. You're just gonna go on up and down motion, and then you're gonna fasten off at the end of this. You're going to do the other side if this is the first time through, and then I'll see you then on week number 5 in order to continue along. And really the hard work is pretty much already almost done. So let's continue along, and I'll just get this ready for you, and we'll finalize this one off for today. So finally, when you come to the very end, remember the last 3 here, that's 1 stitch, that's the one before. So make sure the final 2 stitches become 2 single crochet together, and then that's it. So what you're going to do then is fasten this off, do the other side if you haven't done so already, and then meet me back here, and then we'll begin week number 5. So again, like before, what you've done to the one side, you're going to do to the other in order to continue the mirror effect of your Bernat blanket stitch along with our friends at Joann. So get that done, and I'll see you on week number 5 because we're already past the halfway point, and let's continue then. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Joann as well as myself here at the Crochet Crowd. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.